Ava is still alive. Coco comes to Genoa City to tell Sally a secret young and the Restless fanfiction/speculative story note. This is an original fanfiction story inspired by the characters and soap opera style of The Young and the Restless. It is not an official CBS episode or confirmed spoiler. Recent speculation has focused on Coco Spectra potentially appearing in Genoa City, while reports noted that Sally recently left town because Coco needed a medical procedure. The secret that changes everything. Genoa City had seen its share of shocking returns, impossible secrets, unexpected betrayals, and people who were supposedly gone forever, suddenly walking through a familiar door. But Sally Spectra thought she had finally escaped that kind of chaos. She was wrong. The morning began quietly at Crimson Lights. Sally sat alone with a cup of coffee, staring at her phone. She had barely slept since returning to Genoa City. Her sister Coco had been on her mind constantly. Sally had rushed away from Genoa City because Coco needed her. Now Coco was supposed to be recovering, and Sally had been trying to convince herself that everything was finally under control. Then her phone rang. Sally looked at the screen. Coco. She immediately answered. Coco, are you okay? There was silence. Coco? Finally, her sister spoke. I need to see you. Sally frowned. You sound terrified. I am. Sally sat up straight. What happened? I can't tell you over the phone. Then tell me where you are. Another pause. Genoa City. Sally froze. What? I'm already here. Before Sally could ask another question, the call ended. Sally stared at the phone. Her sister was coming to Genoa City. That alone would have been surprising. But something about Coco's voice told Sally this wasn't a family visit. Something was terribly wrong. Coco arrives. A few hours later, Sally was standing outside the Newman Media building when she saw a familiar figure stepping out of a car. Coco! Her sister turned. For a moment, neither woman moved. Then Sally rushed toward her and hugged her tightly. I thought you were supposed to rest. I am resting. This doesn't look like resting. Coco smiled weakly. I had to come. Sally pulled away. Why? Coco looked around. Not here. Sally immediately became suspicious. Coco, you're scaring me. I know. Is this about your health? No. Is someone in trouble? Coco didn't answer. Sally's eyes narrowed. Coco. Her sister finally whispered, It's about Ava. Sally's expression changed instantly. Ava. Coco nodded. I found something. What did you find? A reason to believe she's alive. Sally stared at her. For several seconds she couldn't speak. Then she shook her head. No. I know what you're thinking. No, Coco, you don't understand. We've been through this already. But you don't know what I know. Sally lowered her voice. Coco, if this is some misunderstanding, it isn't. Then what is it? What is? Coco reached into her purse. She pulled out a small envelope. I was given this. Sally looked at it. What's inside? Evidence. Sally hesitated before taking it. Her hands trembled. Who gave you this? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? He contacted me anonymously. Who? I never saw his face. Sally stared at the envelope. This is crazy. Coco nodded. Yes. Then she said the words that would change Sally's life. Someone wants you to believe Ava is dead. Sally refuses to believe it. Sally walked into her office and closed the door behind her. Coco followed. Sally placed the envelope on her desk. Open it, Coco said. You open it. You're the one who needs to see it. Sally took a deep breath. She carefully opened the envelope. Inside was a photograph. Sally pulled it out. Her face went pale. No. Coco watched her. What? Sally stared at the picture. It showed a woman walking through a parking lot. The photograph was blurry, but the woman looked unmistakably like Ava. Sally's breathing quickened. "That's her." Coco nodded. "I thought so too. When was this taken?" 3 weeks ago." Sally looked up. "That's impossible." "Why?" "Because Ava was already supposed to be gone." Coco said nothing. Sally looked back at the photograph. Then she noticed something. "What is that?" "What?" Sally pointed to the woman's wrist. "She has a bracelet." Coco nodded. "You recognize it?" Sally's eyes filled with tears. "Ava wore that bracelet all the time." The room suddenly felt colder. "If this is real, it is." Sally shook her head. "Then why would she disappear?" Coco reached into her bag again. "There's more." Sally stared at her. "What?" Coco pulled out another piece of paper. This was found with the photograph. Sally read it. There were only 5 words. "Don't trust the Newmans." Sally's heart dropped. "Who wrote this?" "We don't know." "Why would anyone tell us not to trust the Newmans?" "I don't know." Sally slowly sat down. "Then we're dealing with someone who knows a lot more than we do." Coco nodded. "And that's why I came here. A warning from the past." Sally knew she couldn't keep the secret forever. Eventually, she told Billy. He arrived at her office within minutes. "What happened?" Sally looked at him. "Coco thinks Ava is alive." Billy stared at her. "What?" Coco handed him the photograph. Billy studied it. "That's Ava?" "We believe so," Coco said. Billy looked at Sally. "Where did this come from?" "That's the problem," Sally replied. "No source?" "Anonymous." Billy frowned. "Then we need to be careful." Coco nodded. "I agree." Sally walked toward the window. "Everyone is going to tell us we're imagining things." Billy stepped closer. "But you don't believe that?" "No." "Why?" Sally looked down at the photograph. "Because I know that bracelet." Billy sighed. "You're sure?" "Absolutely." Coco added, "And there's something else." Billy looked at her. "What?" The photograph wasn't the only thing. Coco pulled out her phone. "I received a message." She showed them the screen. It read, "She never left Genoa City." Billy's expression hardened. "Someone has been watching her." Sally turned. "Or watching us." The Newman connection. Sally couldn't stop thinking about the warning. Don't trust the Newmans. It could have been a lie. It could have been designed to create suspicion. But it could also be the key to everything. Sally knew Victor Newman had enemies. She knew the Newman family had secrets. And she knew that in Genoa City, secrets rarely stayed buried. She decided to ask someone she trusted. Nick. When she found him, she didn't waste time. "I need to ask you something." Nick looked concerned. "What happened?" "Do you know anything about Ava?" Nick's expression changed. "Why?" "Just answer me." "No." "Are you sure?" Nick sighed. "Sally, what is this about?" She showed him the photograph. Nick stared at it. "I don't know if that's her." "You recognize her?" "I recognize the possibility." Sally stepped closer. "Nick, if you know something, tell me." "I don't." "Then why do you look scared?" Nick didn't answer. Coco watched him carefully. "You've seen this before," she said. Nick looked at her. "No." "You're lying." Sally turned toward him. "Nick?" Nick finally admitted. "I saw someone who looked like Ava several weeks ago." Sally's eyes widened. "Where?" "Near the edge of town." "Why didn't you tell anyone?" "Because I wasn't sure." "Did you follow her?" "No." "Why?" "Because she disappeared before I could get close." Sally shook her head. "This can't be happening." Nick lowered his voice. "There's something you need to understand." "What?" "If Ava is alive, someone may have a very good reason for keeping her hidden." The second message. That night, Sally returned home. She couldn't sleep. The photograph sat on the table. She kept looking at it. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Sally hesitated. She opened the message. You're looking in the wrong place. A second message arrived. Ask Coco about the night she left Los Angeles. Sally froze. She immediately called her sister. Coco, what happened? I just got a message. What did it say? Sally read it. There was silence. What? Sally asked. Coco finally answered. They know. Who? I don't know. What happened the night you left Los Angeles? Coco's voice became quiet. I never told you everything. Sally's stomach tightened. Then tell me now. Coco hesitated. I saw Ava. Sally stopped breathing. You saw her? Yes. When? The night before you left. Why didn't you tell me? Because she begged me not to. Sally sat down. What did she say? Coco swallowed. She told me someone was trying to make everyone believe she was gone. Who? I don't know. Coco, I swear I don't. Sally's voice trembled. Then why did you keep this from me? Because she was terrified. Of whom? Coco answered. Someone she trusted. Ava's hidden message. The next morning, Coco brought Sally to a quiet location outside town. I need to show you something. She opened an old storage box. Inside was a small phone. Sally stared at it. What is that? Ava's. You kept it? She gave it to me. Why? She told me not to turn it on unless I believed she was in danger. Sally looked horrified. And you think she's in danger now? I think she has been for a long time. Coco turned the phone on. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then one message appeared. If you are reading this, I couldn't come back. Sally covered her mouth. Coco continued scrolling. Another message appeared. Sally must never know the truth until she is safe. Sally looked at her sister. Why me? Coco didn't know. Then another message appeared. The person closest to her is the one who can destroy everything. Sally stared at the screen. Who? The phone suddenly shut down. Coco tried turning it back on. Nothing. Sally whispered, We were supposed to find that. Coco nodded. Exactly. Billy becomes suspicious. Billy didn't like secrets, especially secrets involving Sally. When Sally finally told him about the phone, his concern turned into determination. We need to find Ava. Sally nodded. But we don't know where she is. We can start with the photograph. Coco said, I know someone who can enhance it. Billy looked at her. Who? An old contact. Can you trust them? Coco smiled sadly. After today, I'm not sure I trust anyone. Billy looked at Sally. You stay out of this. Sally immediately objected. Absolutely not. You're too close to it. That's exactly why I'm involved. Billy sighed. I knew you'd say that. Sally smiled faintly. You should know me better. For the first time that day she laughed, but the moment didn't last. Billy's phone rang. He answered. His expression changed. What? Sally watched him. Where? Billy hung up. What happened? We found another photograph. Of Ava? Billy nodded. But there's a problem. What? She wasn't alone. The woman beside Ava. The photograph showed Ava standing beside another person. The second figure was partially hidden. Sally stared at it. Who is that? Billy shook his head. We don't know. Coco leaned closer. Wait. What? I recognize that coat. Sally looked at her. You do? Yes. Whose is it? Coco's face became pale. It belongs to someone who used to work for the Newman family. Billy frowned. That's not enough to identify anyone. Coco pointed to the photograph. Look at the hand. Sally did. A distinctive ring was visible. Coco whispered, "That ring belonged to Ava's old business associate." Sally's eyes widened. "Are you saying Ava was working with him?" "No." Coco looked terrified. "I'm saying she might have been running from him." The truth about Ava. The mystery eventually led them to a quiet hotel outside Genoa City. Sally and Coco entered the lobby. Billy stayed outside. A woman at the desk looked at Sally. "You're Sally Spectra." Sally froze. "Yes. I was told to give you this." She handed Sally an envelope. Sally opened it. Inside was a handwritten note. "Come alone." Sally looked at Coco. "I think I have to go." "No. Coco, you're not going anywhere alone." Sally looked toward the hallway. Then she heard footsteps. A woman appeared. She was wearing a dark coat. Her face was partially hidden. Sally stared. The woman slowly removed her sunglasses. Sally's heart stopped. It was Ava, alive, standing right in front of her. Sally whispered, "Ava?" Ava nodded. "I'm sorry." Sally couldn't move. "You're alive." "I am." "Why?" Ava looked toward the door. "Because someone wanted me to disappear." "Who?" Ava hesitated. "I can't tell you yet." Sally stepped closer. "You owe me the truth." "I know." "Everyone thought you were gone." "I needed them to." "Why?" Ava's eyes filled with tears. "Because if they knew I was alive, you'd be in danger too." Coco stepped forward. "That's why you contacted me." Ava nodded. "Yes." Sally stared at her. "Then why bring me here?" Ava answered, "Because hiding is no longer enough." The biggest revelation. Ava reached into her coat. She pulled out a folder. "This is everything." Sally opened it. Inside were documents, photographs, and notes. Names appeared again and again. Some belonged to people Sally knew. Others were complete strangers. But one name made Sally freeze. "Why is this person here?" Ava looked at her. "Because they're the reason I disappeared." Billy entered the room. "What's happening?" Ava looked at him. "You shouldn't be here." Billy stepped closer. "Sally isn't facing this alone." Ava sighed. "Then all of you need to understand something." She pointed to the documents. "I wasn't hiding because I was guilty." Sally asked, "Then why?" Ava's answer was chilling. "Because I discovered a plan to destroy several people in Genoa City." Coco asked, "Who?" Ava looked at Sally. "Your enemies aren't coming after you because of business." Sally's face tightened. "Then why?" "Because they want what you know." Sally frowned. "I don't know anything." Ava shook her head. "You know more than you realize." Sally's memory that night, Sally began remembering something she had forgotten. Months earlier, she had received a strange package. She had dismissed it. Inside had been an old newspaper clipping. At the time, it seemed meaningless. Now she realized the date on the clipping matched one of Ava's disappearances. Sally pulled the clipping from an old drawer. "Coco!" Her sister rushed in. "What?" "I found something." Ava looked at the paper. Her expression changed. "Where did you get that?" "Sometime last year." Ava whispered, "That's the beginning." "The beginning of what?" "The entire plan." Sally looked confused. Ava pointed to one name in the article. "That person isn't just connected to me." She looked at Sally. "They're connected to you. A family secret." Sally's eyes widened. "To me?" Ava nodded. "Yes." Coco stepped forward. "What are you saying?" Ava hesitated. "Someone in your family knew about this." Sally looked at Coco. "Who?" Coco shook her head. "I don't know." Ava replied, "Your family wasn't the only one being watched." Sally's voice trembled. "Then who was?" Ava looked toward the window. "Almost everyone connected to Spectra." The room fell silent. Sally realized this was bigger than she had imagined. It wasn't just about Ava. It wasn't just about business. It was about a secret that had been moving between families for years. The final message. Suddenly, Ava's phone buzzed. Everyone looked at it. A message appeared. You found her. Sally's heart raced. A second message arrived. Now you're all part of it. Coco looked at Ava. Who sent that? Ava whispered. They know where we are. Billy moved toward the door. We need to leave. Ava shook her head. It's too late. The light suddenly went out. Sally grabbed Coco's hand. Stay with me. For several seconds the room was completely dark. Then the lights returned. Ava was gone. Her chair was empty. The folder was gone. Only one piece of paper remained on the table. Sally picked it up. 3 words were written across it. Trust no one. The next morning, Genoa City woke up unaware that another secret had exploded beneath the surface. Sally stood outside Crimson Lights. Coco joined her. Did you sleep? No. Me neither. Sally looked at her. Do you think Ava really escaped? Coco nodded. She survived this long. Sally looked toward the city. Then we'll find her. Coco smiled. Together? Together. But neither sister noticed the person watching them from across the street. The stranger lowered a phone. She's alive, the stranger said. A voice answered through the phone. And Sally knows. What do we do now? There was a long pause. Then the voice replied, Now we make sure Sally never discovers why Ava was hiding. The call ended. The stranger walked away. Meanwhile, Sally's phone buzzed. One final message appeared. Ava isn't the secret. Sally stared at the screen. A second message arrived. You are. Sally's eyes widened. Coco looked over her shoulder. What does it say? Sally slowly raised her eyes. I think this is just beginning. And somewhere in Genoa City, Ava watched from the shadows. She was alive. She was frightened, but she was finally ready to fight back, because the secret she had protected for so long was no longer buried. And Sally Spectra was about to discover that her entire future might depend on uncovering the truth. To be continued.